Alrighty, welcome back everybody to the Tradewaiters podcast, the comic book club where we read a different trade paperback every single week. I'm Daniel, you're Nathan, we're brothers, we read comics.
We read the most famous comics ever, really late into
Time
this.
magazine, top 10 comics of all time.
Yeah, I get. Oh yeah,
graphic novels of all time. And we finally got around this list.
Time magazine did that?
We had other priorities.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we look at the list?
Yeah. But this is definitely a book that should be like episode 10 and we're now at 250 and we're like, okay, we should probably get to this.
Nathan.
What?
This is our first podcast without Jimmy Carter alive.
Yeah, that sucks. He is a cool president.
Yeah, he had a good run.
He did. 100 years, dude.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. He owned a peanut farm. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That's why he's my favorite.
All right. Full list.
Wait, can I guess a few?
Yeah.
Does it say when it came out?
The year?
Yeah, the year that the Time magazine list. Is that what you're looking up?
Yeah. No.
Okay, Civil War.
No.
Okay.
There's some on here you're not going to get.
Really? Okay. Watchmen?
Yeah.
Swamp Thing? Alan Moore Swamp Thing?
Nope.
Saga?
Nope.
Invincible?
Nope.
We got give me V for Vendetta.
Nope.
Give me. Are there obvious ones like a Hellboy type shit or like?
No. I think you got the obvious one.
Okay. What are the rest?
So the Sandman.
Okay, yeah. Neil Gaiman.
Jimmy Corrigan, the smartest kid on earth.
That sounds familiar, actually.
Let me take a look at this.
Isn't that a Vertigo?
It's like Fantagraphics.
Oh, okay.
Chris Ware.
Oh, interesting. No,
should we just do like a Time magazine month?
Yeah. Just get all the remaining ones we haven't gotten.
Yeah. Mouse.
Oh, Mouse is a good one.
Mm-hmm. The Adventures of Tintin, The Black Island. Miracle Man, The Golden Age.
Oh, Miracle Man. Yeah. I wouldn't have gotten that, but that makes sense. I haven't read that. Have you?
Did you read it? I have it, but I haven't ever gone through it. Like I keep restarting it, you know?
Yeah.
But then I forget that I downloaded it.
There's like a Miracle Man Easter egg in this book. Did you see that?
No.
There's like a kid dressed up as Miracle Man in this book. I was like, I don't know how they're related.
I think it's just a fun thing.
Maybe he just likes it.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Fun Home. You ever heard of that?
Nope. Sounds fun though.
It's not. It's a family tragic comic.
Oh, okay.
There's Ghost World.
Don't know what that is.
It's like Daniel Clowes. It had like a movie adaptation that had Scarlett Johansson in it.
I don't know who that is or what that is.
Scarlett Johansson?
Or Daniel Klaus.
Oh,
I know Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, he's a indie guy. DKR, and then The Greatest of Merrills. Marlies.
Can you what? Say that title again?
The Greatest of Marlies.
Marlies?
It's like Marley and then S.
Yeah, Marlies. Okay.
It looks like a kid's book.
It does look like a kid's book.
Yeah.
That's the top 10?
Yeah.
You're telling me that's next to Dark Knight Returns?
Yep. And DKR was like 9, dude.
Damn. I believe that. I believe that this isn't in like a top 5, but it would be a top 10. As far as like how people hold it. But yeah, we're finally doing DKR. But before we do that, Daniel, we got other segments of our show. We have the pull list. We have the book that we're reading, which is Batman, The Dark Knight Returns.
And Back Matter Matters.
And Back Matter Matters. There's that's in there too.
But we start with the news.
But we start with the news, Daniel.
Nathan, you had a New Year's resolution to read a comic every day.
Daniel, this is a big book. Keep in mind.
You didn't read 7 issues is what you're saying?
No.
Wow.
I read 1.
I mean, technically today is the 2nd. So starting now.
Oh, true. Okay, yeah.
So
I read this yesterday. I just got to read another book today. That's what you're saying.
Perfect.
All right. Oh, thank God. That's your news?
No, it's just a thing I wanted to bring up.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for the reminder, I guess.
Nathan, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man got a trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Did you look at it?
I did. I looked at it.
Did you watch it?
I watched it too.
Oh, what'd you think?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't know what it is.
You hate everything.
I don't hate everything.
Is it the animation?
It is.
Oh my God.
It seems so rigid and weird.
What do you want?
I think I have a pet peeve in animation, which is when they animate on twos like they do in Spider-Verse, but it's like everywhere. And I think people think that it's like a stylistic aesthetic choice, but I think it's just lazy, you know? Like Spider-Verse has
It's
a reason.
lazy style.
Yeah. Well, like Spider-Verse has a reason to do it. Like they have a way of working that in, but when everybody else does it, it just seems like we have so much better. Also, there's like they're doing a mix of like 2D and 3D animation. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how like when Futurama does it, you know?
Yeah. When it's like panning out or something.
Yeah, but they're doing it.
Or if they're watching like the ship.
Yeah, but it's watching the ship goes by. And I think that like when Futurama does it, it works well because it's like kind of interesting. But this, it's like they made it all. I don't know what it is. I'll check it out, I think. But did you like it?
I thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
Is
this supposed to be in the MCU? Like it's like his early years, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like in continuity technically.
I think it's like origin.
Yeah. Because we never saw like beginning of Spider-Man stuff.
Because it's got like parts of like his OG suit, like his sweatsuit kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And so that's kind of what I'm most interested in.
Yeah.
I think like the pieces, and he's like working out the webs and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, I think it definitely can be cool.
I think I prefer that rather than like a whole movie. You know, just like
like origin. Yeah, for sure. I think doing a TV show,
like we get it.
Yeah, 100%.
So
pretty cool. Daniel, Jason Momoa has been officially cast as Lobo in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It's official now.
Did you read that?
Half of it.
Was Lobo in it?
No, I don't think so.
They're probably just gonna shoehorn him in.
Well, he's gonna be like she's gonna be in space.
Yeah, exactly.
Lobo's in space.
So that's a
so they're bound to run into each other, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I think he fits that role pretty well.
That's good. It always seemed kind of gimmicky when he's like, "Oh, I have all the Lobo comics, and I read it all,
and I like Lobo much.
It's perfect casting."
Yeah,
and I'm like, I feel like you have all that stuff because it's perfect casting. You know?
I think he's trying to make it perfect casting.
Yeah, he's trying to add the ethos around it.
I don't know.
I don't know who else would play him. You know, so
yeah, that's true. Because he probably heard about it. I assume just like with a random fan cast, and he's like, "That does look like me, and it seems pretty cool." You know, being a biker in space or whatever.
He's like, "I'm hurting on jobs. I'm in I'm in Minecraft."
Yeah, and so I would be excited to be Lobo too if I was in Minecraft.
Yeah, so that's a thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. DC's been weird lately. I feel like they're rolling stuff out in like a weird order.
What do you mean?
Like we have Creature Commandos as the first thing.
Yep.
We got Superman coming, which probably should have been like the first thing.
Yeah, I think.
And then it's announced that we're getting Clayface like in a year.
Oh yeah.
You know,
the Clayface news. I agree. I think.
What's the next DC movie supposed to be?
I think it's Supergirl.
Is it? I don't know. It just seems weird. Like I feel like that'd be like a very easy way to.
Well, I think James Gunn was already working on Creature Commandos before he was announced as like the head.
Yeah, I heard that, but
so I guess like that makes it is weird to like market it as like this is the beginning, you know?
Yeah, but also then it's like all the stuff that he like worked on, like that's continuity, you know?
Right, exactly.
So
I think it's gonna be fine.
Probably gonna be fine.
You know, I think he's taking the approach of just if something's a good story and seems like it'll be good, then we'll just run with it. You know, not necessarily having a long interconnected sort of universe.
Do you think it's just gonna be called Clayface?
Yeah. What else would you call it?
I don't know.
I think calling Clayface is fine.
It's like, is that gonna get people like in the door? You know, do people know that Clayface is a Batman villain?
I mean, do people know about Creature Commandos?
They're probably gonna have.
People don't know about Creature Commandos.
They're probably gonna have a silhouette of. But like people don't have to go to a movie theater to watch Creature Commandos, you know?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So it's like marketing wise, they're gonna have to have like a silhouette of Batman. And it's like a fake out or something.
Yeah, I think
or they cast him
fair, but also like Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty popular. People don't know them.
Yeah,
but do you think they just had the momentum of like previous Marvel stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I think if you have the momentum of previous DC stuff being pretty good, then they'll figure it out.
Just Superman at that point for like
Superman
a common man.
And then maybe the Batman.
Maybe the Batman.
Maybe
no, that's not coming out until 2027.
Oh, Clayface is 26?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why this wasn't in sort of the original lineup of things, but I guess they feel confident they can make it. So.
Oh, well.
Interesting. Well, let's get into this big ass book that we read.
Yeah, we got plenty of book content.
Yeah.
Nathan, have you ever read Batman: The Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah. I have the trade.
You do?
Yeah. I think
that's mine.
Do you have it?
No. I thought I lent it to...
I think I bought it at Zia.
Oh, okay, maybe.
So I think you might have lent it to somebody else, but I got
maybe I got rid of it.
One of the things I got for Christmas is a spinner rack bookshelf.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I could have a lot more books now, but I was putting my books up there and I'm like, I have DKR? That's crazy. I have no idea. But I have, then I remembered I did read it like super early on, like when we were in Tempe, I think is when I read it.
Yeah, same.
And I remember not liking it that much.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, let's give this another shot. You know, maybe I'll have a different perspective. I still think it's pretty good. Or I think it's like just pretty good, but I don't know if I would put it in my top 10 of all time. You know what I mean?
When you read, when you look at lists and stuff, it's always in there when you go like greatest all time kind of thing,
Yeah.
especially with Batman.
Yeah.
And so I was reading it just waiting for something crazy. And then that thing didn't necessarily happen for me.
I think it.
And so I'm like, well, what's the big deal?
I think there's the context of.
This is also like 8 years ago. So, and I was a wee lad.
What was 8 years ago when you read it for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think there's needed context of it being like the first time Batman was like this grizzled old guy, you know, and he's like super dark or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's important to keep in mind. But I don't remember there being like almost like no villain the whole time.
Yeah.
Like there's like they switch off kind of, which I think is interesting. And then I remember the fight between Batman and Superman feeling a little bit more earned.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely earn it when you're reading it.
Yeah. I'm like, finally, we got here.
Here we go. Here's the thing.
Frank Miller is he's a yapper when he makes books too.
And he writes yappers.
But what I appreciate more this time around is just his general art style. Because I think when you first are reading comics and you happen upon this book, people like it because he has such a distinct style that for whatever reason works for Batman the way that he does it.
Yeah.
And when you are initially reading comics and you find this book, you're like, oh, let me read a cool Batman book. But you're kind of expecting traditional art style, like comics, cape shit art style. So like a Jim Lee, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you read this, it's like, wow, this is like weird. Like, why does it look like this almost? And I appreciate that stuff way more now, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
He does this shit pretty well. It's also very 80s. There's a lot of 80s things that happen in this where I'm like, if this was made today, we wouldn't do that. Like when the plane hits a building, or when they call it. I was like,
Frank Miller knows too much.
There's like Gotham Twin Towers in Gotham apparently, and I'm like, ooh, this is a painfully 80s plot point. But you know, it's part of the time.
I remember having trouble with like how to read the captions.
I still kind of had trouble with that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of news in here.
It's like mostly news. It feels like,
and there's even news when you're in the middle of a fight scene, and I'm like, I don't need to know what the news is saying right now. I want to see Batman punch the Joker. You know what I mean? It
is cool for like world building and context, but if you like skipped all that, then you could read this in like 20 minutes. I feel like
that's interesting. I wonder if someone has like whited out all the news parts. You know,
yeah, it's like 14 pages.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of news, and I think it's important to have Gotham as like its own character, kind of. And seeing how the people think of Gotham and
how they think of like Batman and things like that.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, Batman's here. Or
like as I was reading it, I'm like, I don't like this, but I did like it, you know?
I think I did overall.
Looking at it, I'm like, fuck this.
There's a lot of it.
I'm like, okay.
I think I prefer, if we're not seeing anything with Batman or like anything really Batman related and we're just doing Gotham stuff, I preferred like the citizen stories that were in there.
Yeah, like the one-pagers.
There's like one-pagers. And one of them I was like, that's dark.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think I like those as far as Gotham world building. But yeah, I think some of the news ones makes it a bit bloated, in my opinion.
Yeah, this thing has the flow of a dictionary.
It does. Yeah. If you like reading the dictionary, you'd love this book.
I had to like fucking hunker down to get this shit done.
Reading one of these issues was like 45 minutes.
It took like a whole day off, I feel like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I had to use PTO to read this in time.
There's a lot going on here for sure.
Did you read this like Jimmy Olsen clipping at the beginning?
No, I didn't.
Neither did I.
I was going to.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll probably have time to go back and read some of these.
I'm like, doesn't he take pictures?
So I picked up the 30th anniversary edition. I don't know which one.
That's what's on Hoopla.
Okay, yeah. And there's like a Brian Azzarello interview in the beginning. I didn't read it, but
yeah.
But let's get into it, Daniel. A wall of text on the first page, by the way.
What was your stance on the cover? Which way he's facing?
I think his back is to us. That's how I've always seen it. But I think there was something in this trade where like you see his like sketch or like his outline of it and he's front facing.
His face is towards us.
Like there's a sketch where like he didn't silhouette it in, but he was sketching and you could see his face in that sketch. But what do you think?
Oh, in the back matter?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find
I thought he was front facing.
You've always thought he was front facing?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah, that was a big thing that happened.
Was it this year?
That was, I think, last year.
Oh, yeah.
Within the year.
Well, now.
Anyway, yeah. So I've always thought of it as back facing because the his left foot, always seemed like it was facing towards us a little bit, like it was angled that way. And so his left knee was going to be like out, like away from the reader. So that's why I thought, but it seems like it's curved towards us instead of like the bottom of his feet being towards us. You know what I mean? So
I thought I feel like the feet wouldn't look like that if it was facing away from us, you know?
So in my head, the right foot is like completely perpendicular to us.
Okay.
So it's just facing, it's 90 degrees pointed that like to the right. And then the other one
is like tucked in.
Yeah. I never thought of that foot being the right foot. I always thought it was like the left foot and his knee was out, but apparently that's his right foot and his knee is like almost pointed towards us, but it's just kind of captured within the rest of the silhouette. Mm-hmm. I've always been bothered by the cape. Like, why does it look like that? It's got like two.
That's
sections.
What like they're doing in like Absolute Batman right now.
I know, but I don't like it. And you don't see it look like this at any other point in this comic. It's always been like this big cape, like one square cape thing.
I thought it looked like that when they had like that splash page of him and Robin.
I'll have to look at it again.
But we'll
get there.
All right.
Anyway.
Nathan, you know what I love more than the 9-panel grid?
16 panels.
Yeah, 16-panel grid, baby.
No one tell Tom King. Because he's already a lot to handle with 9.
Yeah.
Dude, a lot of this is structured like a 16-panel page, which is absurd.
Yeah.
Was that a popular thing back then? I can't imagine.
No, Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons did like the 9-panel thing.
Yeah.
And that seemed like a bit.
That does seem like...
And it's crazy how much he's able to fit in here.
There's so much.
Not everything is super readable, but...
Like this whole first page is Bruce Wayne racing a car. He's in like NASCAR or something, and he crashes and explodes, and then the news tells us that he was actually fine. All in one page. So he gets a lot done with it, at least. It's not like all one scene is like 16 panels necessarily. Yeah. At least, we're getting somewhere with each one. But anyway, Gotham City... is Batman-less after the death of Batman's second Robin, Jason Todd.
About 10 years since then.
Yeah, about 10 years. He's been haunted by the death of Jason Todd. So Bruce Wayne has retired Batman and is turning to reckless things like driving a NASCAR or whatever this is for fun. And he's like drinking a lot of alcohol. But he is also funding the rehabilitation of Two-Face to try to prove, I guess, to himself that he can be given a second chance.
A couple of years ago, Frank Miller came out with the one shot, and it was like the death of Jason Todd.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I got it, and I read it.
Was this before Red Hood came back? Because I think that was 90s.
Yeah, probably. I think he's still dead at that point.
Yeah, how interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that. So, well, how did he die then? Was it the
like
Silver Crowbar
It's
thing?
like the same thing. It's just kind of retelling.
But he just hadn't come back yet in real time. Because this came out in like 84 or something is when this started.
86.
86. So yeah, old book, but good book. As far as like, I don't know if we've read a whole lot of 80s books, but this is like pretty good for its, like even now, I would say.
Yeah, it like holds up, I think.
Yeah, it definitely holds up.
You just have to...
You just got to put in the time for
really be focused.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't
not like be distracted.
Yeah, no book now flows like this because it's like a lot of time, I think.
Yeah.
And a lot of work to do something like that now. But so anyway, Bruce Wayne is also friends with Commissioner Gordon, who is about to retire after a controversial career of working with the Batman. And they're like buddies at this point, which is kind of cool. Like Gordon knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he's like, man, what a crazy career we've had kind of deal. So And I gotta say, when they're like kind of sitting around drinking and smoking, Frank Miller makes that shit look so cool.
Hell yeah.
It's like, oh man.
It's like a free cigarette ad.
Yeah, it really is. Because like Gordon looks super cool and like Batman looks pretty cool drinking his scotch or whatever. So good for him. They also mentioned that there's a heat wave in Gotham and it's reaching a scorching temperature of 103, which is light work for us Arizonans.
Oh, that's a good day.
I know. I'm like, oh, wow. It's nice. Might wear a sweater.
I think Jason Todd came back in the 80s.
Was it the 80s? Was that?
Yeah.
It was after a crisis, right? Crisis on Infinite
Was that
Earths?
Infinite Earths? Yeah, I think so.
But I think it was like a couple years after that. But you can't just look up when Under the Red Hood came out? Or because that was like a random Batman issue, wasn't it? It was like...
I was looking up Red Hood, Jason Todd first appearance. It's Batman 357.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's just Jason Todd's first appearance.
Which is 1982. Not Jason Todd's, like...
But like Red Hood, as Red Hood.
Yeah.
Is 82?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I think that's wrong.
Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah, you can't just look up Red Hood first appearance. Because there's a different Red Hood.
Maybe it was 2005.
That sounds more right. Because
there's like the Joker Red Hood, you know?
Yeah, that's what I had looked up. But no, 2005 sounds right because he debuted the same year as Winter Soldier.
Did he? Oh, damn. They both came back that same year?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Dang. And then they just left Uncle Ben in the dust?
Huh?
Because like the rule is like everyone comes back in comics except for Jason Todd, Bucky Barnes, and Uncle Ben.
Oh.
But Bucky Barnes and Jason Todd both come back. So it's really just Uncle Ben that's left.
Yeah, just Uncle Ben. Yeah. He's the only one that hasn't come back.
Yeah.
Unless you're reading Ultimate Spider-Man, where he never died. But yeah, they came back the same year. It's like the random fact. I wonder if they like heard about it. It's probably not that deep, but
who heard about it?
Like, I wonder if they heard about each other bringing a old character back that had died for like the shock value kind of deal. Because that would have been a big deal in 2005, I think.
Probably.
You know, but anyway. So Two-Face's rehab is not received positively by the public, obviously. And there is a major crime wave that hits Gotham from a group called the Mutants. I don't remember the Mutants at all when I read this the first time.
Really? The Mutants are like such a big part.
I know.
I'd say that was like kind of the main villain because they're like in it throughout.
Yeah, it's like this big crime group. Yeah, I would say that like this would probably work better if they were the main villain, but I guess you just need other Batman villains that are recognizable.
Yeah, like
but their style
I don't
is
even call them like a crime group, you know, like that makes them seem more organized than they are.
Yeah, true. It feels very Mad Max or like just kind of like chaotic sort of but they all identify as like mutants. So
there might be some sort of actual mutation there because they all don't look very human, you know, and they all have these like crazy spiky teeth, which might just be like a art decision. But
you can like file your teeth down,
I guess.
I wonder if they have a dentist.
the mutant dentist.
Like you got to go to this guy. He'll get you set up.
Right.
Bruce Wayne is troubled by this and brings Batman back after a bat symbolically crashes through Wayne Manor window. And he's like, you know, I should probably be Batman again. So Batman goes out and he saves a girl named Carrie Kelly from being murdered by one of the mutant guys. And God damn it, Frank Miller, you make such a good Batman. The build up to like seeing Batman in this like first splash page is so good because it's like the cops are like, holy shit, look at that up there. And one of the cops... What's up?
Show me again.
This one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good splash page.
See, it's split right there, the cape.
I don't think so.
It's for the splash pages, Nathan.
Yeah, it must be, huh? But it looks like it's all together in like one piece. Anytime, like any other time you see the cape.
A detail that I wrote down is like Bruce Wayne had like a mustache at the beginning of this book.
Yeah.
And then he shaved it when he decided to be Batman again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess Batman probably couldn't have a mustache. That'd just like identify him too much.
That'd be so funny, a Batman with a mustache though, because like you see him here and he looks cool, but just imagine just a mustache on this guy.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. But yeah, the build up to like seeing him for the first time, because like cops see him kind of jumping around from the rooftops and there's like a new guy and he's like, what the fuck is that? And the old cop knows. He's like, I know what's going on here. And then you see Batman. It's pretty sweet.
And the gray and blue is awesome.
Oh my God. I love a gray and blue.
We like never see it, with the shit we read.
And then he just doesn't wear gray and blue anymore. for like the rest of this, pretty much after this issue.
Oh yeah, it's all gray, and then he has like
It's a gray and
the
black
armored suit.
Yeah,
too.
and then the armored suit. He's got like a couple of gray and black suits. It seems like it almost seems like the design for Batman changes because this looks like a pretty traditional Batman.
Yeah,
And then he gets like weird and like almost
like blocky.
actual insane looking, you know, like a demented guy is behind the mask. But this looks like a pretty traditional Batman.
Well, when he's doing shot, he's getting any good sleep, you know.
Yeah, true.
And it's got to just be like taking a toll on his body, you know.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
And
he's not getting a whole lot of
like,
sleep,
dude. They bring this up later, but in this, Batman's 55.
That's how old Batman is.
That's crazy.
That's an old guy.
He's that guy, like he's all gray.
He looks like 65.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, 55, Jesus Christ.
55 is not.
Batman was a smoker, clearly.
Yeah, he really. So he quit at 45?
I guess.
And from being 45 to 55, he ages pretty significantly, I guess. That's crazy. How do you know that? Did you look it up?
They just said it at the end.
Oh, interesting. This is a pretty small part, but when he's like first saving people from the mutants, you just see like little glimpses or like silhouettes of like his hands and stuff. And there's this like 2-panel sequence where he grabs a mutant and he like pulls him back, and then like he does it so fast that the sunglasses stay there. Oh yeah. And I'm like, that's the most Looney Tune shit I've ever seen. like if somebody like he pulled away somebody with a cane but left the sunglasses in the air.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Or there's like a smoke silhouette of like the person.
Oh yeah. And then so anyway, he's like saving people from the mutants. He kind of has to acknowledge and strategize around his age, the very old age of 55 apparently. But he stops the mutants, pretty successfully that night.
Dude, there's one of my favorite panels in this is like people like hear a noise or something on the people that he's like staking out. I don't know if we're talking about the same scene, but he's like under them and he like punches through the floor and grabs like their leg.
Yeah.
And he's like, welcome to hell.
That's
and like
awesome.
Drags it in.
That is pretty sweet.
Like, who are you? What are you trying to do right now?
Well, he's like a weird fucked up guy in this, which is cool because he's like old and like pissed off at everything, I guess.
Decrepit and cynical.
Yeah, decrepit is such a good way to describe it. He's just like this. He's like so angry. He's like fucked up in the head almost, which is I think like the first sort of interpretation of Batman like this, which is why people like it so much. Because like you would have to be insane to do any of this,
Yeah.
So it's a good interpretation of the character.
So at this part, this is like when the news like makes sense to have because it shows like all the crime that's going on.
Yeah.
And it literally like kind of breaks him to like come back.
Yeah.
Because there's literally just so much going on that could be prevented.
Right.
And crime will go down as soon as he's back,
and there's a good like visual metaphor that's happening when he's seeing all this on the news and he remembers like the pearls being broken. And so like when he really snaps, the pearls snap, in his memories.
Yeah.
But then when he's like fighting it and he's like, no, I can't be doing this, the pearls are like back together. And so he's like just kind of barely hanging together by a string, but he's like got this tension build up. And then when the fucking bat, flies through the Wayne Manor, right when he's like pondering coming back, he's like, okay, I should probably take this as a sign.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. But the news reports on Batman's return, and in Arkham, the Joker sees this and sort of relapses upon seeing the news of Batman. And then we also see on the news that the return of Batman in general is like very divisive. And I think this is when the news kind of works out because it makes sense for the Joker to see it and start to revert back into like regular Joker stuff,
Yeah.
But I think after this issue, it was mainly just two people on the news kind of arguing back and forth about Batman or like things that are happening in like a geopolitical climate, but it's not great.
Back at Wayne Manor, Bruce is getting fixed up by Alfred, and like the phone rings and he like answers. He's like, Wayne Infirmary. I thought that was really funny.
That was good. Alfred's perfect in this.
Oh,
like this interpretation of him, like super smart, super old. He's fixing him up. And he's like sassy.
Yeah, how old is Alfred in this? Like when
Batman's 55, I assume Alfred's like 90. Because he was at least 40 when like he was a kid.
Yeah,
when Batman was a kid, right?
Yeah.
So
damn.
Isn't that, yeah.
I don't know. He's probably like 70 or something.
No, there's no way he was 20 years old when he started looking after Bruce Wayne after his parents died, you know?
Well, in some interpretations, like the New 52, like Jarvis Pennyworth was like
the family
butler, and Alfred was like his son.
That was New 52. Wasn't that Earth 1?
It could be in both.
Okay.
But I know it from like New 52.
No, Earth 1, he was that Mexican dude, right? Or Mexican looking dude?
Earth 2?
Earth 1.
Earth 1?
Yeah, like the Jeff Johns stuff. Because he was like a military dude.
No, he's like a grumpy guy. I don't remember him being like Hispanic or anything.
He looks pretty Hispanic, but maybe I'm thinking of a different one.
I
been a lot of Alfreds.
Yeah, I guess so.
But anyway, so Two-Face threatens to blow up the Gotham Twin Towers. A painfully 1980s villain plot. Batman stops the helicopter that Two-Face is on. Harvey Dent like falls out of the helicopter. Batman saves him and like crashes into a building, kind of like fucking Incredibles style. And so he stops, Two-Face, but he knows that like Harvey's face was reconstructed to look like a normal face, so he doesn't have his Two-Face anymore. Mm-hmm. So he looks restored on the outside, but he's still like pretty completely insane on the inside still. And after Batman stops, and he says that he just kind of sees a reflection of himself inside of Two-Face.
He's got like the Hush bandages around his head.
Yep. Because he just had that like reconstructive surgery.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he like took his bandages off on like the news so people could see like his face.
I thought so too.
All done up.
That's what I was like, why did you put it back on? Well, maybe he doesn't want people to see his face like that. Like he sees himself as like a Two-Face kind of guy.
Yeah.
So, but Batman uses like a rifle that's not really a rifle. It's like a zipline rifle thing. In this, but I think it looks pretty fucking cool when he's like aiming down a sight with like this rifle. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. Is he going to shoot somebody? And then he shoots like a zip line. And I'm like, what is your plan here? Because there's 2 helicopters. You're running on a zip line. What the fuck was your plan? I don't know. I don't know where he attached the other zip line or like how he anchored the other end that he shot. But pretty insane. But he gets shot in the chest, which is cool because you see that the Batman logo on this blue and gray suit was like an armored piece, and he kind of wanted it to be like distracting, so people like kind of aim for it. Yeah, which I think it's kind of interesting.
That's why he doesn't have the Batman logo on his head.
That makes sense. That's probably why we don't see this blue and gray one throughout the rest, because he like got shot in the chest and it's like exposed. Maybe, yeah. But you could fix it.
You tell me he doesn't have a spare.
Yeah, for real.
There's like insane like public interviews with like just people like civilians and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And like on Channel 4 News, it's like some dude, he's like endorsing Batman. He's like, yeah, he's kicking butts right now. Butts the cops ain't kicking. That's for sure. Hope he goes after the homos next.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. They're getting out of hand.
I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, there's like a thing that Gordon said that was, I thought, pretty funny later on. But I really like this end sequence because as soon as he like crashes through the window with Harvey, it like turns all black and white. And I like his style in black and white, that sort of Sin City stuff. So we see it like this.
Yeah.
And then there's a really interesting scene where, Harvey's kind of crying out and he's like, at least both sides of my face match. But then like the next panel shows like kind of who he is like really on the inside, which is like that Two-Face persona. Yeah. And then for Batman to say, I see like a reflection is kind of interesting because his Two-Face is like Bruce Wayne kind of deal. And he just like hasn't had Batman for so long. So I think it's kind of cool how this opens. Like,
if it's like 3 normal panels, right? And then the third one is like what's on the inside.
Yeah.
And for Batman's, it's the bat.
Yeah.
He's the bat on the inside.
He thinks he's a bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that he kind of structured it that way. But he's got the bat in him, and he's just happy to have it be back.
I like how he just sneaks in like some Sin City panels. I'm like, oh, this fucking rules.
I do love it. This is before Sin City.
It just makes me want to go read Sin City.
I know. Sin City's so good.
I'm like, he's planting the seeds.
He's like, oh man, this black and white shit looks pretty cool.
Yeah, he went to Dark Horse. He's like, it's going to be like this panel.
Yeah. And they're like sold.
Yeah. And the only color we use is red.
Oh, maybe this is what I was talking about. The like first, like after like before the second issue cover, it's like this.
Yeah.
And you see like his face kind of drawn like that, or like part of his cowl is like in front of his shoulder.
Yeah, he's facing us.
Yeah, he's facing us. So I think that kind of confirms it for me, at least.
I thought you said he was facing away.
That's what I thought, but I think this kind of confirms that I was wrong and he was facing towards us.
But this could have been just something that they added in like for the 30th anniversary thing.
It could be, but I would still assume it's Frank Miller drawing this, right? This is definitely his stuff. So if he's drawing it like this, it's not like he's like, oh, let me mix it up a little bit, you know? So I think in his mind, it's always been front facing.
Yeah, then we get one of the best covers of all time.
Literally the coolest cover.
It's so dumb.
It is so no, it's not.
It's so dumb, but I like love it. It
is. It's that
imagine showing that to mom. Be like, this is one of the best covers of all time. She'd be like, why?
She's like, this looks gross. Yeah, I think it's one of those things that you just kind of understand.
Like, look how wrinkly his suit is.
Yeah. And she's like, he looks fucking weird.
He needs to tumble dry that bitch.
Why is he standing like that?
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah.
It's like,
because when you first start reading comics,
how do you start drawing that?
I don't know. Like, why does he has such a interesting visual style where he's like, maybe he could pose like this, and he's like kind of squatting.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
and he's like he's like a boxer or something. But even boxers don't do that. So it's like, why is he like this?
And what's wrong with his face?
And he's so big.
He's gigantic.
His legs are ginormous.
He's so big, you got to squat down to fit into the frame.
That's I think what makes it feel so cool. He's like, that guy barely fit. You know, it's awesome. I think it's one of those things where I just don't know why it works so well.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't initially. I'm like, that looks fucking bad, you know, because I didn't, the lines are shaky and stuff. But then when you start to see more, you know, Jim Lee stuff, not that he's like bad, but it's like, okay, this is what people typically do. And to make the creative decision to make it more scratchy and stuff like that, he seems more...
I always seem to gravitate towards like the stylized kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, now I definitely do. I think when I was first getting into comics, I want Batman on the Gargoyle, you know, that Jim Lee piece.
Yeah.
And I still appreciate that stuff. Like I still really like Dan Mora, which I think is a more traditional kind of style for stuff. But he just brings out that energy of it so well. But yeah, this I liked a lot more this time around, where I was like, God, it's so good.
The coloring is so interesting in this book because there'll be some pages that just look straight up black and white, you know, with like Gordon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I thought I was reading a black and white book at first.
Yeah, it does. There's a couple pages that are definitely like that. And then, but I think that sets up for, because this is where we see Robin in the suit for the first time, and she pops so bright because that's like the purpose that she serves in this book, is to be like a very bright character. And so Gordon has lived his life in, you know, Gotham, being the commissioner, and things that probably are pretty black and white for him, you know?
Mm-hmm. So I like the mayor in this book.
Does Frank color his own stuff, or was it somebody else?
It was like his like girlfriend at the time or something. It's like something.
Lynn Varley?
Lynn Varley.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I think she did 300.
Was his girlfriend at the time?
I think so.
Didn't know that. Is he married now? Probably, right?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. So issue 2. Commissioner Gordon is almost killed by a member of the mutant gang, which has publicly announced their intent to kill Gordon. Carrie Kelly decides to become her own hero and makes a sort of mock Robin costume to go, you know, because she was inspired by Batman saving her. And then Batman finds the dude that's like arming the mutants with all these like special weapons. And so he goes to like talk to him. And then Ellen Yindel is announced to be the next commissioner. And she was nominated to be the commissioner for her strict policy on vigilantes. So she really wants to stop Batman this time around. And a couple things I like here. Batman's like interrogating one of the mutants. And for like 12 of these panels, it's like all black until he like takes his hand back and reveals that he's actually, it was like his point of view of hanging down like a statue.
Yeah, he's holding him off
holding him off a building. So I thought that was fun.
I like this last scene with like the mutants. Because Batman like shoots a guy.
This guy?
What? No.
Wait, what guy is he shooting?
So there's this mutant, right? That's like holding like the kid. And he's like, I'll shoot this kid, believe me. And then he like shoots his gun at the mutant.
Does he kill him?
And he shoots him. Yeah. It goes gray. He's like without color. And then the boy is free. He gets the boy back. And then his caption says, "I believe you."
Yeah.
So this is like,
what a strange part, because he's so against killing.
That's like kind of like the normal thing, but this is like, this scene is what Zack Snyder like hung on to for like his entire run.
Yeah,
you know,
he's like, Batman will kill if it is necessary,
right?
Kind of deal.
Yeah, and so I was looking for that scene, and it's this early on. I really like
because he's really against killing the Joker later on, and he like openly kills like hundreds of people in this book at one point, or like at least 100.
Yeah.
And then he prevents himself from killing him here. So I wonder what like the morals are. I didn't think that he was like killed in this. I mean,
it's not like
he's definitely
obvious.
Dead.
Yeah.
Like he could just be injured, you know, but I don't know.
I like the mayor in this issue where it's always like the same panel.
And he's like, oh, I don't know.
He's like, we're still talking about options.
That's what, yeah, he always is just like, I don't know, just like leave me
like,
alone. I'll try my best. So there's this like one of the civilian pages where it just like has a random civilian and then hones in on it. One of them is like this lady that was like tipped an extra $10 or something at work, and it's like in her purse, and she's been struggling with like medical expenses and stuff like that. And she's taking the subway and mutants take it over, and they like try and steal her purse. But she's like mainly not even like worried for her life, but she just like wants this like $10 or whatever that she was tipped. And then she ends up saving that thing that was in her purse. And then the next panel is woman explodes in subway station, like from the news. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's a lot of like hard cuts like that.
Yeah, where it's like, oh my God.
And then the caption before that is like, then she feels something heavy and round like an apple in her purse.
Yeah, and that was like
a grenade.
Yeah, it was. She just exploded. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. So
yeah.
A lot of these mutants are crazy. And they look so, the design of them in general is just so interesting because they're wearing like Cyclops glasses,
like visor
things, and
they're like pop collars, and like
and I guess bad guys back then were
they're
wearing
bald and pale.
Bald. Bad guys are bald, and they wear neon pants and shirts. They also announce the new commissioner, and there's a scene where Gordon's reaction to the new commissioner. He's like watching it on the news, them announce it, and he's like, "A woman? Christ Almighty!" And I'm like, whoa, what is that supposed to mean? So Batman tracks down.
Well, he's not on the news. He's watching the news.
He's watching the news, but when
like he wouldn't do that in front of a camera.
No, he wouldn't. But just like his reaction is like, a woman, Christ Almighty.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, what do you mean by that?
And his wife's like, did you say something, Jim?
And he's like, nope, nothing.
Nothing, sweetheart.
Batman tracks down the mutant like meetup spot or lair or whatever this is supposed to be.
It's like a junkyard or something.
Is it like a junkyard in Gotham?
I think so.
It's so interesting. Yeah, it's weird. But Batman tracks him down, and he shows up with his tank of a Batmobile, and he fires rubber bullets, everybody.
I forgot how fucking cool
this thing
the
is
Batmobile
I didn't
was.
remember this at all. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Neither did I. I'm like, fuck yeah.
It's like an actual tank.
Yeah.
We just seeing it from the front, it's like, wow, he's not fucking around. And then you see it from the side, and like what that shit looks like
compared to like people, you know?
Compared to people, it's such a cool design for like a Batmobile. Because I thought like Batmobiles up in this point were just like kind of slim supercars. I've never seen it, in this sort of design.
Yeah.
But so he's shooting rubber bullets at people. He's not killing them. And then he challenges the mutant leader in hand-to-hand fight to prove to himself and kind of to Alfred that he's like still that bitch kind of deal. But this doesn't work out because he jumps out and he starts fighting him hand-to-hand, and he's getting his ass handed to him kind of. And he's almost killed until Carrie Kelly, dressed as Robin, jumps in to kind of like help save him.
So you look at like this panel of like the mutant like leader.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh yeah, that's a person.
That's a person. Yeah.
That's fucking.
But like,
he looks like a shark, dude.
Yeah, or like their teeth are way longer, right? Because there's these panels where it's like someone screaming, and it's like, I guess
it could be like a cartoony kind of scream thing.
Yeah.
But...
And then this is where he starts to feel different than that first splash page in the blue and black. Like that guy is not right in the head,
Yeah.
Like that is just an insane man.
He's like stoked.
Yeah. But like it's that brawler sort of Frank Miller posing and drawing that didn't seem like that first splash page. It seemed more traditional. So it's interesting like how he's kind of evolving.
Yeah, that's like two very different pages.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And not just the suit.
I would think that they're from different runs entirely.
Yeah.
So
the one page that really I always think of when I think of DKR is this one of like the White House, and it's like the American flag panels.
Yeah.
That like slowly turn into like the Superman crest.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it's just like Reagan or whoever they say it is,
It's
but
Reagan
it's Reagan at that time. And he's like yapping about keeping an eye on Batman and whatnot.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
and
creative.
Superman's just, yes, sir.
And all the Superman pages are so bright and colorful, and I like the creative decision to like not reveal him really yet. But you know it's Superman talking to like the president.
Yeah.
It's like kind of a cool way to bring it up. So yeah, Superman is kind of being ordered by the president to stop this Batman problem. Batman's recovering in the Batcave after Carrie Kelly saved him. Kelly is named as this Batman's Robin, and the mutant leader manages to somehow tear out the mayor's throat while in custody, while they were trying to interrogate him.
He just went in there alone.
Yeah, I guess. And he like was able to break his cuffs or something and get a hold of him.
Did you see the mutant nipples, dude?
Yeah, dude, his mutant nipples are. That's why I'm like
terrifying.
Maybe he's not human. I've never seen nipples like that. They're traffic cones, and
they look like little sorting hats, dude.
You are a mutant. So, Batman, with the help of Gordon, gets the mutant leader out of prison, where they fight in front of all of his followers. This is like a thing that takes some planning over time, obviously, but when Batman's able to plan the attack, he's able to win. So they fight in like some mud. He does like a pocket sand type move where he like throws shit in his eyes, and then he beats this mutant leader. And then many of the mutants start worshiping Batman. And after this, some of them become the sons of the Batman, and they like.
Oh yeah, this is a. Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
Oh.
So some of these mutants defer over, and they're like, "This guy is tougher than our last leader, so I follow this guy now." But then there's some that remain mutants and are loyal to like the last dude. And so I don't know. This is the thing. Like,
I like this scene because Gordon lets the leader out, and then he like escapes through like a vent thing.
Yeah.
And then the sewer like goes out to where the mutants are.
Yeah.
And that's where like the fight starts.
Yeah.
Because Batman's like in
but I wonder
the
how
sewer.
long they're in that tube. Like, are they fighting in that tube as well? Because it seems like
he's like at the end. I think.
Seems like they just get instantly portaled to it, like it's Mario.
He was waiting for him.
Yeah.
I have a question.
What?
Is Batman naked when he's hugging Robin here?
I think probably not. Doesn't look great though, does it?
Yeah.
You
see that
at the time, this like, oh, this is kind of sweet, but like now I'm like, okay, get off of her.
Yeah.
This is grooming. He does look naked though. I think he's like. No, I think you could see some cheek there, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't like this.
Little sus.
Maybe we take that page out. It's not needed. But
need the 21st century version.
Yeah. I love this fight between the leader and Batman in like the mud because they're just like completely covered in it. And I think it's fun that the mutants are just like...
I thought this was at like the end of the book from how I remember it.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a finale
It's
thing.
like, this is a big fight. I mean, it feels like this is the end of the book because this is the end of issue 2. We're like 100 pages in.
Yeah.
But I like that they're just kind of brawling in the mud. They're kind of like rolling around. I just think it's fun seeing both of them all mudded out. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the end of the second issue. But I like that his big plan was like, okay, I'm going to get him in the mud. I'm going to put mud in his eyes this time. And that was pretty much the only thing he did different.
Never saw it coming.
Yeah. So then issue 3, Batman and Robin are taking down the remaining members of the mutants that have not turned to Batman followers. And this includes Bruno, a woman with maybe the craziest costume I've ever seen put on a page, where she has swastikas on her boobs. But what I noticed about her character design this time reading it is that she also has swastikas on her ass cheeks. And we could see them because she's wearing assless chaps. What the fuck is going on here?
Nathan, hear me out.
Craziest hear me out.
with like the fucking...
Your hear me out's Bruno.
And he's got like the Drago haircut, you know?
Yeah.
Or she is. And yeah, it's just bizarre. They're like just robbing a liquor store.
Yeah. And Batman happens to be there in an old lady costume.
Yeah, like not convincing
at all.
And
he keeps it on.
A terrifying old lady costume.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking weird. And Bruno, I mean, they're like... Batman's in the middle of fighting Bruno in this old lady costume, but she ultimately gets captured when Superman like flies in and stops her. And he's like, Batman, we need to set up something to talk. And then, they set something up. But
Yeah, he just like yells into like the air and knows that
Yeah.
Clark can like hear him.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen Batman in like an old lady costume or like anything like that. That's so Mission Impossible feeling to me. So I think that was funny.
Yeah, I don't know who they thought they were fooling here.
But this character, man, so crazy.
Yeah. Superman's really cool in this issue because you only see like these beams of blue light, basically.
The blur of him flying through shit.
Yeah, like I don't know exactly what he does, but you know that he's there. And you almost think he's going to be coming and popping up at any time.
You think it'll be like a big splash page where it's like he's there. But no, we're not ready to see him yet, which I think is kind of cool. You're building up that anticipation.
And then we get like a third Batman suit.
Yeah.
Which is like more of the...
black and gray, but the bigger logo with no yellow oval.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know why he changes so much.
It's like gray on gray, like a dark gray on gray.
Yeah.
So this is more like...
Oh, the last one was black and gray, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this
cool
is
design.
a cool, great page.
Yeah, great page with both of them kind of flying out. I like how Robin kind of like jumps around in like it seems like her own style.
Mm-hmm.
She whenever she jumps, she kind of hops like a bunny almost. It seems like.
Yeah.
Always
got the slingshot.
Carrie Kelly? Have we seen her in something outside of DKR? Wasn't she in? Did she ever make it to like regular continuity?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I think she's in all of the Frank Miller stuff.
Like,
because there's like Dark Knight Strikes Again or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's like
DK3.
Mm-hmm.
There's one after that, wasn't there?
I think that's what I'm thinking of with like the Joker thing. Like there's a Joker one shot about Jason stuff.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was.
There might be more. I can't imagine Frank Miller's got a lot of fuel left.
No, I think it's like people and creative teams are doing Carrie stuff like outside of Frank Miller. I think I've seen
it seems
somewhere,
so wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah, doesn't it seem like that? Like he doesn't own these characters, but it seems like a lot of people would have a lot of respect to like not even want to touch it, really, you know?
I mean, that's probably how a lot of people felt about like Watchmen.
Yeah, that would have been a lot scarier to touch, huh?
Yeah,
because like that's like fresh.
Yeah, and then they made
at least Batman's been around for a while.
Then they made like 8 miniseries of it.
Mm-hmm. So and Doomsday Clock,
right?
So anyway, the Joker's been slowly returning to crime, and he convinces his psychiatrist, Dr. Bartholomew, that he is sane and regretful of his past actions. So they put the Joker on a late night show to display that Joker is a victim and a victim of Batman's psychosis. And this obviously goes wrong, and the Joker kills everybody with smile gas and escapes, but Batman is too busy sort of fighting the heavy police force outside of that to make sure that nothing is going wrong. But
he also kisses like an old woman and has like some sort of lipstick on. Yeah,
he has like a lipstick that acts as like a Joker, like smile gas, but in like lipstick form.
Yeah.
We find out that that's like, it has like mind control powers or something.
I don't know.
How does he get that? So yeah, Batman's too busy fighting police at this event to like be able to stop Joker.
He looks like he's on like Letterman or something.
Yeah.
And Joker's like super wide in this one for some reason.
He's wide?
Yeah. Like,
his face is pretty big, huh?
Like, no, like, look how fucking broad this dude is.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. He looks like Jay Cutler. Like,
that's pretty big.
About to like go, I don't know, to some event.
There's a part where like Superman and Batman talk, and it sets up some like geopolitical stuff with like Russia and Corto Maltese or whatever. But I really like how bright the book gets at this point and how stoic Superman is. Like almost like a caricature of like a stoic person. He's got like the boots on and he's stepping on a big stone. There's horses behind him, you know?
He loves being Superman.
He loves being like out. Like he's like, I'm a good guy. Like you could tell he's saying that in his head. And then just like seeing that, like a regular man juxtaposed with just like Bruce Wayne in this scene is so funny because Batman looks so normal in like these panels. And then seeing Bruce Wayne, it's like, what the hell's wrong with him, you know?
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Do you know where Corto Maltese is?
I think is that a real country? I think it was made up.
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
know.
like, oh, dude, I've heard of that. Where's that at? I Google it and it's like DC Comics. I'm like, oh, I think it was like just a very blatant allegory for like the Russian missile crisis. And so instead of like it being like Cuba or something, they just called it Corto Maltese and like called that Central America.
Is that supposed to be like a Middle East type feel?
I think it's supposed to be like,
or is it like
more around Cuba, like Central America.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's where they go in the Suicide Squad, isn't it?
Like Bel Rev? Oh.
Like James Gunn's like where Starro is. Isn't that Corto
maybe
Maltese?
That's what I'm thinking of. Maybe.
Yeah, it's an island nation off the coast of South America.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
South American island nation of Corto Maltese.
Yep. That is where they go. Look at me, bro. But yeah, I knew it was like a made up thing. I think that's where they go. Do they go there in Creature Commandos too? Or is that too much?
I haven't watched past the second episode, so I'm not sure.
It's good.
Probably.
But yeah, I just like how we see Superman at this point. He's pretty good at doing like really good natured people. There's like a Captain America scene in one of the Daredevil books that he does where Captain America is like ordering the Avengers around and it feels like really stoic and cool. But anyway, Joker, after killing a bunch of people at the show, he goes to Selena Kyle and he gets some of her girls to get politicians like commit suicide, I think, with the mind control lipstick. The new commissioner, Yandel, feels heat from the media and goes after Selena Kyle. Batman and Robin are able to get there first to talk to her about what happened and find out the Joker's using mind control lipstick. And then Batman and Robin barely escape the police with the Batwing. And then Yandel adds child endangerment to Batman's crimes because they see Robin for the first time. And the Batwing's crazy.
Oh, the helicopter thing?
It's not even a helicopter. It's like paragliding.
Oh, that thing. Okay.
It's like, why did you think that was a good idea? Like they just jump and happen to like grab onto the handlebars of this paragliding thing. And then it's like, we're supposed to be surprised when Robin falls off of it and is like barely caught, you know? This looks like a Fortnite kite. The sons
of the Batman are like insane.
Mm-hmm.
They're like in front of a dozen witnesses. They accosted a shoplifter and chopped off his hands.
Yeah,
like just because they stole some gum or some shit. And chop off his hands. That's like, fucking crazy.
They turned to going only after criminals, but they don't really have the spirit kind of what he's doing necessarily.
Right.
Yeah, and so. What I'm confused about in this is why Selena Kyle is like tied up and dressed as like Wonder Woman. There's no like
it's reasoning. A special request.
What do you mean?
I think because she's got like an escort service.
Oh, I guess. Yeah. It seems like the Joker's the one that did that.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I was like, that's interesting why they did that. But anyway, Batman and Robin track down the Joker to a fair where Joker has a bunch of hostages. Robin is sent to stop a bomb on a roller coaster with like people strapped to it. Meanwhile, Batman is fighting Joker in a mirror maze type thing. And he's like, the whole time he's like contemplating killing Joker once and for all to prevent like needless killings and stuff. And he's like, how many people have died since I haven't stopped you? And he does stop himself from killing the Joker, but he does break his neck enough to paralyze the Joker, which is like a cool thing to do. That's much better. But then Joker starts laughing maniacally and twists his own broken neck to death, leaving the police to think that Batman murdered the Joker. So this double page spread where we see them jump in, it's not like a 2-piece cape. It's all one big piece.
Well, that's because it's like expanded.
Yeah, when it's expanded, it should be like one piece.
When it's out this way, but when it's like behind him, it's like 2 pieces.
Is that just like one big ripple in the middle?
I think so.
Is that what they're going for?
Yeah.
So it always looks like this. Or like this is always the cape. If it's stretched
out, yeah.
Yeah. Well, like this is always the cape, but I guess when they jump around sometimes it just forms into 2 big pieces. Is that what you're saying?
I was listening, sorry, what?
So when they're like jumping around, like this is always the cape, but when they're like kind of jumping forward or whatever, it just kind of ripples into like almost 2 big pieces.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm cool with that then. Anyway, what were you saying?
Joker's got this like toy maker kind of guy.
Yeah.
While he was in jail, who like built bombs and stuff. And he built these like flying dolls or something.
Yeah.
And they're really random.
They're very strange. Because I'm like, why is there a flying
They're
kid?
like stubby. And I'm like, who is that? Is that a person?
They like fly around like they're Superman. There's no like mechanics that show why they're able to fly.
I think they blow up too.
They do blow up. Those are bombs.
Okay. Cool bombs.
Cool bombs. He's like, can you make a bomb look like a kid that flies around and he's really weird looking?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. This roller coaster is insane too because there's no like support under the roller coaster. It's just track. Yeah. And I'm like, that is not a safe roller coaster.
That doesn't make good story, Nathan.
Support beams. You need some support beams. If I was going to this fair, I would not go on this roller coaster. I'm like, that shit will snap off any minute.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned it, but Carrie Kelly has like a slingshot. That's like her main like tool. And I think it's really funny because when she's trying to stop this bomb, she's trying to slingshot one of the guys, and she ends up hitting a kid like square in the forehead. And I think that's really funny. She's like, oh man, I fucked that up. My bad. And then this is one of the scenes where this is like a big scene because Robin has to go stop a bomb on like a roller coaster, and Batman is doing this really interesting fight with Joker in the mirror maze, and they're like talking to each other throughout it. And it's really cool. But then there's still news broadcasts being like said throughout it. And I think it really disrupts the whole flow of it. And so I just like, I was like really particularly annoyed about it here because this is like big action piece. And it's like, oh, let's figure out what the news is, saying right at this moment.
Yeah. And I don't know if it necessarily added that much. It was just kind of telling us what the public knew as this was going on. And
they're talking about like the Sons of the Batman and shit like that. And it's like, why hasn't Batman done anything about the Sons of the Batman? But it's like, we don't need to ponder that question right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're in the middle of a fight scene.
Like the book flows the best when it's just Batman doing stuff.
Yeah. Especially if he's like in a fight scene.
And it's not just like the 16 panel stuff.
Like I feel like a fight scene is supposed to feel fast. And when you break it up with like a random news broadcast, it really disrupts that flow. That like, because like, I feel like I lock in a lot when there's action and I want to see how it kind of pans out.
Yeah, you almost want like the pacing to be like how the fight would go.
Yeah, and you want to be like a little bit quicker, even if they are talking to each other a bunch.
Like when there's too much dialogue in a fight, that throws it off too.
And I like to imagine sort of the in-betweens of like each panel where, if someone's throwing a punch and then, Joker throws a punch, I like to imagine what kind of happens in between that. And so when that in-between is like just a random news broadcast, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, fight choreography is like shockingly limited when it comes to like comics sometimes.
Yeah.
And not everyone really does. They'll just kind of do like an action pose, but not necessarily have like a
lead
flow
up to, the next
it.
One.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do like this mirror maze fight. It's pretty cool because you can see like the Joker's like shooting random mirrors of like Batman, but he thinks it's like right in front of him kind of deal. So that's a fun scene. But yeah, that's pretty much issue 3. So then in issue 4, the police find Joker at the fair and his neck's all twisted and shit. And they're like, oh man, Batman's going crazy. He's killing people. Batman has to escape the police. There's like a bunch of cops that go into the tunnel of love where like the Batman and Joker were at. And he distracts the police with an explosion. And then Robin jumps onto a news helicopter, I think, and then lassos Batman out while hanging onto the helicopter. And
no, I swear he's got his own helicopter.
Is that his helicopter?
And it's like voice activated or something.
Because it's like shooting at Carrie Kelly, looks like.
It's shooting at the mutants.
Oh, the bad guys.
Bad guys.
That was pretty close to fucking... You're pretty close to hitting Robin here.
Because the Batman's always like, don't touch anything. And then it's like... And he tells her like what to say at certain points.
Yeah.
And at this point...
You're right.
Carrie Kelly's like... She says like, find him. Mm-hmm. And the helicopter can just find Batman.
Okay. You're right. I
know.
Wasn't paying attention to that part because all I saw was the helicopter seemingly shooting at Carrie Kelly, who like barely narrowly avoids a lot of bullets here.
Right.
But they end up hitting the police. And even if those are rubber bullets, you could have killed those guys. They're on a roller coaster track in the middle of the air.
They still fire like bullets.
Yeah, and you're still firing bullets. Rubber bullets even could kill people. So it's like,
right.
Maybe tone that down. But anyway, meanwhile, some of the Sons of the Batman are taking it a little bit too far and murdering criminals, which reflects badly on Batman in the media, even though he isn't involved with like kind of what they're doing. There's a scene where we see I think these are supposed to be Sons of the Batman, and they have like this black bar over their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not like a sensor bar. That's like a thing that they're wearing because someone gets it punched off of their face. And I'm like, what the hell is that black bar?
I think they used to do that in like the 80s for when you're trying to...
Like you'd wear something?
No, it was like something they just put on the screen. Like a filter an overlay kind of thing. Right? Yeah.
But this is...
maybe it just doesn't track as well and there's movement?
I don't know because it seems like it gets punched off someone's face. So...
Yeah, it was like more of like a... anonymous kind of thing.
Yeah. That's what I thought they were going for. I just thought it was interesting. But in the global news, the USSR launches a nuclear warhead in response to Superman's presence in Corto Maltese. Superman has to redirect the missile to a desert, but the missile is actually an EMP that wipes out electronics in the whole Western Hemisphere and launches debris into the atmosphere, which blocks off, the sun, pretty much. This leaves Gotham in a blackout, leading to riots and looting. There's a plane that crashes into a building, which is a painfully 1980s thing to happen.
Yeah.
And Jim Gordon pulls together some citizens to like fight fires and kind of organize, some sort of semblance of society, at least for now. What I really like about the sequence is that Superman is in silhouette the whole time and the missile's in silhouette the whole time. And I think it's because no one like really saw this in person. So it's supposed to be like an approximation almost.
Sure.
But I just like that creative decision. Like, since no one was really there, this is probably what it looked like, and it's cool.
There's a lot of Superman
in silhouette
stuff.
I love a silhouette, but you still see the logo and shit.
Yeah, that's good.
Amazing.
I don't know if it's
like, it doesn't make sense.
Is it a choice or is it laziness?
It could be a little bit of both, but at least
a lazy choice.
It could be a lazy choice, but at least he can at least say like, "Oh, I did it because of this." Like, no one saw that, so that's why I did it that way.
Yeah.
So the leftover mutants get out of prison because of the blackout. Batman shows up on a fucking horse, and he's like, "Let's go, everybody!"
Fuck yeah!
And everyone's like, "Look at that guy on a horse."
This is like kind of the iconic thing from DKR, and I feel like this is all you really see. Or this is like it only really happens in this.
I think it's the first time someone thought like that guy should ride a horse.
Yeah.
And then when we see him in like Batman v Superman, like riding a horse and shit when he's like in the mountains or whatever, or is that in Justice League? I think that might have been Justice League, actually.
I don't remember.
He's like recruiting Aquaman in some snowy place.
I think that's Justice League.
Yeah, and like he's riding a horse there, and I'm like, that's cool.
Remember when we got the Justice League trailer a year and a half before Justice League came out?
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck, dude?
Everybody, the internet fucking broke, and they're like, oh my god, look at this Joker, like Robin suit. I'm like, what does that mean? Kind of deal.
It meant fucking nothing.
Yeah. It was cool though.
Yeah.
Take me back.
To hope.
To hope. When I had hope.
And then it came out and we were like, what the fuck?
I know. I was like, I remember I was so like
confused.
Taken back and confused on why I didn't like it. But I was like in denial about not liking it. I remember at first. I was like,
I think it was the mustache mostly.
The mustache?
Yeah, that they CJ'd off.
Oh, Justice League? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Dad.
No, actually,
I remember Dad like turned to me. He's like, "That was awesome." I'm like, "No, it wasn't."
I was like, "No." What I'm thinking of actually is Batman v Superman. I wanted that one to be really cool because I enjoyed Man of Steel enough.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like a great.
We saw that at the Scottsdale theater, and we were like,
"Yeah, that one I was leaving, and I was like, did I like that?" Like, there's parts of it I like,
and then
sure.
like Suicide Squad. I'm like, did we like it? I was like, I remember
liking that one enough, but
I was like, there's cool parts, but I'm like, damn, I don't know, dude.
Mm-hmm. It's all like very confusing stuff.
Yeah,
like they have good micro ideas, I think.
Yeah, there's good parts.
Yeah, good parts. Anyway, so Batman rides a horse, and all the like leftover mutants and Sons of Batman are like, let's follow this guy. This guy knows what he's doing. And so they just kind of blindly follow him, I guess. And Superman was wiped out for a bit after he had like his access to sunlight cut off from the debris in the air, I guess, which makes him weak. But he's back now and is sent to go take out Batman. But right before that, Oliver Queen warns Batman that, Superman's going to come and try and take him out. And he wants to help Batman.
And he's missing an arm.
Didn't realize that at first. Even on a reread, I forgot that was like a thing. What I think is weird is that Superman is super scrawny when he doesn't have like direct access to sunlight.
Yeah, but what if he goes to sleep? Well, I think like the nuke or whatever might have had a big effect on that.
Power out of him or something.
Probably.
But then he like touches a sunflower, I think, and that gives him
photosynthesis.
I guess he gets photosynthesis, I guess.
Yeah, dude.
I don't understand that at all. Because
he needs the sun, Nathan. It's a sunflower. It's right there.
What is this, fucking Plants vs. Zombies? Like, what are we doing?
Dude, they have Plants vs. Zombies comics.
I know. We should read some. They're insane.
Hell yeah, dude. I'll put that in our video game month.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought if Superman that has no access to sunlight, like his powers aren't as strong, but I think he's still buff. But in this, he's like almost like a zombie. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very frightening.
It seems like it happens instantly. Like, it seems like this is like an instant thing that happens after, but it must be something from the nuke as well.
You think like nuclear power would like not drain him necessarily.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
mean, he's not like Captain Atom or whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, Batman is preparing for his fight with Superman. He gets in this like powered exoskeleton suit, which I think that is being powered by electricity, even though the whole point of all this happening was that an EMP stops all electronics. I don't know why this works though.
But the armored suit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the meeting spot is Crime Alley, where they're going to fight. Superman is surprised by a couple traps that Batman has set. One of them is like shooting missiles at him. That is triggered by like his X-ray vision for some reason. But he's also surprised by the Batman powered suit. But Superman's kind of able to rip up parts of the suit and sort of still like punch Batman, break his ribs and all that shit.
After being shot with like the missiles, Superman like rips open the Batmobile, and Carrie Kelly's like ready for him.
Yeah,
with the slingshot.
With
the slingshot, he's like, "You better back up."
Yeah, and what I think my favorite part about that is that Superman's like, "Isn't it a school night tonight?"
Yeah,
like that's such a good Batman line or a Superman line.
Yeah,
because he's
making sure you're rested for school.
Yeah, he like rips it open. He's very intimidating. He's like, "You should be in bed," Yeah, and then he like flies off. I love just brawler Frank Miller art. Like this page where he's like punching him for the first time.
That's one of the best panels.
That is so good. Just two big dudes duking it out, which is why I think Sin City works so well, because that is just a big man and all he's doing is just
lots of duking.
Yeah. And there's also like this page a little bit later where he kicks him in the face, but it's just like big men fighting each other and they're
big
like
spiky boots.
They're just kind of like wrapped up in each other somehow. Like he's so good at that. But Oliver Queen is stationed to like shoot an arrow at Superman, which Superman catches, but then the arrow bursts into like a kryptonite mist. So that weakens Superman. And Batman's able to like take this time to beat the fuck out of Superman. And he's like kicking him with big spiky boots and shit. And he's like, "Man, I want you to remember who finally beat you." That famous line.
The man that beat you.
The man that beat you. But this beating gets stopped when Bruce Wayne has a heart attack. And
Superman can like detect that something's wrong with his heart before it happens.
He's trying to like warn him, but he's still getting his ass beat the whole time. It's a very well-paced scene. So he's seemingly he dies to the heart attack, and then we see Alfred at the same time destroying Wayne Manor, so that no one finds out about Batman being Bruce Wayne. But Alfred at the same time suffers a stroke
in the snow.
It's a good place to bleed out. I like that. One of my favorite things about this is like leading up to this fight, Batman is like so excited about this fight, and he's such a good shit talker.
Oh yeah,
like the whole time. But he like shoots some sort of what is it? Like a noise, like a sonar thing at Superman, and it causes him to have a bloody nose. And Batman's like, "Don't drop now. Like this is too early. I haven't had fun yet," kind of deal.
He's like, "I got more for you."
Yeah, he's like, "I had more prepared. It would be really embarrassing if you just died right now."
What's that thing that like splooges in his face?
What? The green thing?
No, it's like it comes out of like Batman's hand.
Oh, it's like acid.
Oh,
he has like acid that comes out of his palm when
a little acid to distract him.
Yeah. That's funny that he like thought of that. He's like, maybe like put a little acid in there. Maybe that'll be useful at some point.
Yeah.
So the news of Bruce Wayne as Batman spreads around, pretty fast. All of the Wayne stocks and funds are already liquidated and the Batcave is destroyed. So they can't really do anything about Bruce Wayne being Batman at this point. And then at the funeral, Superman is there and he's feeling pretty guilty. And people are blaming him. And he's like, "Why are you even here? That's, you killed him pretty much." But as he's leaving, he hears a faint heartbeat in the grave, and he pieces together that Bruce faked his death, but Superman plays along anyway. After the funeral, Carrie Kelly digs up Bruce, and they both lead the Sons of Batman from the Batcave sort of caverns under Gotham, and they're fighting for a safe city, but kind of more behind the scenes now. And
he seems like they're going to go on like an adventure or something, like they're leaving.
I think they're just kind of grouping up in like the external like caverns of the Batcave.
Yeah.
Because like it's not like he can show his face out there now, right? Everybody knows that Bruce Wayne was Batman and is dead.
Right.
So I think they're just going to stay here.
So at this point, this is when like Batman, they said he has been identified as 55-year-old billionaire Bruce Wayne.
What the
And I was
fuck?
like, what?
He's 50 this whole time?
Yeah.
That is not a 55-year-old man. I mean, he lives a pretty stressful life.
And then like all of his bank accounts were emptied out, and then all of his stocks are sold.
Mm-hmm.
When you're like a majority stockholder like that,
You can't just do that.
that's like super illegal.
That
I
guy
think.
is so liquid.
Yeah, he like
The fact that he
he
gets
pulled like a Martha Stewart.
billions of dollars just pulled out like that. No, that takes
Yeah,
like months.
just dumping all that stock, dude.
Yeah. What I don't understand is why did Alfred have to die?
Yeah,
He just has a stroke, and I'm like, oh, he also is faking his death.
maybe people survive strokes, you know.
They do, but no, he's like he's not like a part of this anymore. And so
Yeah, I mean, maybe he comes back in the next one. I hear the next one's not that great compared to this. You know, it's
I don't think either of them after this are that great. Really.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
And so who knows?
What I like that Frank Miller did ending this is that throughout the book, Batman's like searching for a good death, and he'll like make mistakes, and he's like, "This would be a bad death," kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, he's excited about leading a good life because he's like going to be kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes to make Gotham safe again. And I think that's really nice. He's got like a newfound sort of optimistic perspective on,
And they're like
on
looking
living.
for like a new cave kind of thing.
Yeah. And so this is a good life. And I think that's pretty cool. And so that is Batman DKR. So let's get into some Back Matter Matters.
Back matter matters. We did it, Nathan.
We did it. Read that fucking book. Okay, well, I will say that there's a lot that I skipped because there's a lot of nuance in this book, like with the news sort of stuff or like just random scenes with like Gordon or
You
civilians.
didn't read it all?
No, I read it all, but I didn't write it all down. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
yeah. No,
Like, there's a lot of nuance in there that is like definitely missed, but just like the big stuff.
There's a
is what I said.
ton of dialogue.
So
and
many 16 panel
compositions,
pages. Lots of really fun composition.
you hit like the important stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So we get a cover gallery.
Cover gallery. You got some good covers. We got a Warner Books edition. We got another Frank Miller 10th anniversary one.
Well, is that Frank Miller? Or is that
Yeah, it's Frank
Oh
Miller.
yeah, FM and Jansen. Okay.
Yeah.
Jansen colored that.
And then we get the
Hardcover edition.
yeah.
This is like
This is one of the panels in the book, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like at the end of the first issue.
something like that.
I think I just noticed that.
This is like what the cover is in my head, just because from having the trade at one point.
Yeah, this is the trade that I have.
Yeah,
Maybe it is yours.
the one you stole from me.
I don't know. I'll have to look and see if there's
It's
still-
okay. It's not a big deal anymore. You should have
Yeah.
brought it.
No.
What? Did you realize that you had it after you bought it digitally?
No, before I started reading it, I noticed I had it.
Oh, so you could have read that, but you didn't.
I could have read that, but I gotta send you pictures and stuff.
Yeah, true.
I don't think I bought it. No, I did. It was like $2 though.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And then we get sort of a Frank Miller like pitch for The Dark Knight. And
Is DKR in the compact thing?
yes.
Probably, right?
You think it would be.
I don't know if I've seen it, but
I'm gonna look that up.
probably.
Because it's worth $10.
Yeah, no, it's
Actually, I don't know, because it'd be
Dude,
really hard to see
the 16.
Read 16. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, even like Watchmen seems like it's really small.
Yeah, that has 7 less panels.
They probably like tested it, like, fuck, dude, I don't know if we can do this.
No, I don't think it is actually.
Okay, that's probably a good move then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
9 panel grid's probably the limit.
The only Batman ones are Joker, Batman Hush,
Court of Owls?
Court of Owls, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Superman Batman, one of those by Jeff Loeb.
Oh, okay. And then is this kind of like a script?
Yeah, this is like a pitch for DK1 and Batman Year One. There's like some Batman Year One stuff in here.
Hmm.
So did he do Batman Year One after this?
I don't know.
I'm trying to see. Because it's kind of cool that he does like an ending almost for Batman and then later does like his like literal first year.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I think I like, as far as like Frank Miller Batman stuff, I think I prefer it with Mazzucchelli.
Yeah, your one is killer.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. And Mazzucchelli's work on it is really good. I think he's like a comics teacher now. Do you know that?
Mazzucchelli?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Can you imagine taking a class by that guy?
I guess there's like a class at ASU called like graphic novels.
Cool. I wonder if that was around when we were going.
I don't know. 87. So yeah, after.
Yeah, after this.
That's cool.
What a run.
It's crazy that, so this is the pitch. This isn't like, he wasn't just like typing paragraphs and then just drawing it up.
No, this is like the pitch that he brings to DC.
That's wild.
And then after that pitch, we get some unused art for...
like first pages.
Yeah, it's like an unused first page, which is cool. And then some pencils.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because he puts like the X's to show where, Klaus Janson is supposed to like ink it. There's so many X's on every page.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to imagine just breaking each page down enough to like just put a bunch of inks on,
Yeah.
So you definitely see
his pencils are crazy.
His pencils, like, they are crazy. They're like kind of all over the place. And so the fact that
really
Klaus
he doesn't like go over the lines like a second time to like straighten it out.
No.
He just like kind of draws it.
Yeah, and
like
he's like
freehand almost.
And then Klaus Janson has like such a good vision to like bring it all together and make it consistent, which I think is cool.
Do you think
like some of the?
Do you think there's no Frank Miller art without Klaus Janson?
No, I think other people can ink him, but I think the way that Klaus does it, it works so well.
Probably the best. I'd say.
I think it does do well to enhance what he's doing, because some of these, like the splash pages, those look pretty clear and defined, but there are some
panels.
There's some panels where it's like look at the Superman one.
Yeah.
I think Klaus does a lot of artistic liberty here to kind of form that a little bit more clearly.
Right. Which is kind of like his job in a way.
Yeah, it is. But it's cool.
That's why you got to respect inkers, dude.
And then, but I think he knows when to kind of just go along with like Frank Miller's idea, like with this big kick with the spiky boots.
Yeah.
He doesn't, I don't think he really deviates a lot from that, but when he needs to with some of the crazier stuff he does and makes it pretty clear. So he's the GOAT. And then we get a creator bio thing for both Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. And that's it. That's the book. Batman, The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes, sir.
We did it. Should have done it 200 episodes ago, at least.
Probably.
But
we did Watchmen.
Yeah, we did Watchmen. That's right, 200 episodes ago.
Yeah, I just remember the milestone ones, really.
Yeah. So what would you rate this book, Daniel?
This was like with the time frame that we read it in and how much I crammed in like a day or two. It kind of felt like homework, but it's also like kind of like eating your vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for you.
Yeah, it is good for you.
It's good to read DKR. It's good to see like where comics kind of started being kind of grim like this.
Like merging to like a modern
sort of kind of the start of like the modern age in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it like fried Brussels sprouts, so it's like,
okay,
it's like vegetables, but like made in like a good way, like made to be good, it's got like, because it's not, because before we've read stuff that's like older, I'm pretty sure, and it's kind of camp and kind of tough to get through. But I'd say like fried Brussels sprouts with like little bacon bits and like the balsamic glaze, real good shit.
I like that.
It's hard to pull off, but it's delicious.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like,
but it's still vegetables,
I'm trying to think of like, I'm trying to rate it a kind of food that you kind of like need to eat or at least experience once to like know if you
fiber.
Well, like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like something where it's like everyone has to try this, at least once kind of deal.
Yeah.
To know that you're like cultured and you're not just eating fucking chicken nuggets every day. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of like something like that.
Like tamales.
Yeah, maybe like tamales. But then, yeah, I think there's also something too, like it takes a long time to eat.
Takes a long time to eat. Like some,
maybe it's like some
jerky.
Maybe it's like some ribs. Because like not everybody loves barbecue necessarily, but I feel like at least Americans will have it at least once or like try it at least once maybe. So maybe it's like a big plate of ribs.
Full rack of ribs?
Full rack of ribs. Okay. You're not eating it all the time, but it's a lot of food. But if you're picking
old guys love it.
Old guys love it. And if you're picking it apart piece by piece, it's very enjoyable.
It's got to have the right sauce, Nathan.
But you can't eat it all at once. You're going to have some leftovers.
It's got to be cooked perfectly.
Got to be cooked perfectly.
It's got to be smoked for a long time.
Exactly.
Takes a long time to make.
And if you eat it all at once, you're going to feel sick.
Yeah.
You can't read this all at once.
You got to pace.
This is a couple days.
It's okay to have leftovers. Sometimes better is leftovers.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I would say.
That's funny.
But yeah, pretty good overall. I mean, I'm glad we read it.
Yeah. It's something that we needed to do. I don't know if we didn't bring anything new to analyzing this.
No, not really. But when do we ever?
Yeah, exactly. Let's get into the pull list, Nathan. Colon.
Shove it in your box.
The pull list, the pull list. What did you shove in your box? What are you getting this week? Did you look at the new comics?
Didn't look, and I also forgot the comics that you gave me at Mom's house, so I gotta go pick them up.
They're at Mom's house still?
I forgot them there. I was like, shit, dude, when I was trying to read stuff.
I knew I should have just left them here and then like waited for you to get them.
Yeah, that would have been better for me.
I was like, oh no, give them the comics a day early.
Yeah.
But nope.
No, I appreciate the thought, and I still need to pay you back for those, but I'll let you know when I add up the MSRP price for those.
Yeah.
But no, what are you picking up this week?
Nathan, Saga, number 71.
Of course.
Yep. Absolute Superman, number 3.
Oh, that's already on number 3.
Yeah, you got 1 and 2 in that bag.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, you're ready to go.
That's good.
There's JSA, number 3.
Nice.
By Jeff Lemire.
Excited for that.
I got X Factor, number 6.
Oh, you're still on X Factor?
Yep. I have 1 through 5. I'm on 3 right now. I meant to read those this week, but I did not. I'll probably finish those and then decide if I'm going to keep going.
Makes sense.
Gave it the first arc.
Yeah, first arc is good.
First trade.
That's generous.
Two-Face number 2 is coming out. Did you read number 1?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
on the list.
Just so you know, that's there.
Okay.
What'd you read, Nathan?
I read Epitaphs from the Abyss, number 1.
Yes, sir.
The one that you recommended me, something that doesn't happen a lot. And I thought that this was pretty kick-ass.
You liked it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
I think some anthologies can be a little tiring to read, but this had like pretty top talent on there.
Yeah.
Like Jorge
cool.
Fornes does the first one. It's like pretty fun story that flows pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
What I wasn't looking for was like an anthology that tries to cram a lot in 10 pages, you know?
Yeah.
Which this one was not.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it flows really well. There's a Phil Hester one, which I think is really cool. Like anthology story.
That's to kind of like remember what.
Yeah. So the Jorge Fornes one is about a guy whose friend like types up a really good script and he's like a writer and his friend's like not. And
he's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. And he's like, this sucks. Oh my God, it's perfect. And so he like kills him for his script. But then his buddy like comes back from the dead and like has like a zombie or something and kills him back. I was like,
it's so random.
It's so random, but it's like it's kind of funny.
I'm like, wow, karma.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in here.
The Phil Hester one, you know, it's like a family is kind of held hostage and the dad is forced to kill one of his 2 children or his wife or himself, or else the whole family will die.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing was revealed to be like live streamed and like people that are viewing it on the black market sort of live streaming website can bet on it.
Yeah.
Which is funny. And then the last one was like an anti-vax thing.
I think it is pro-vax.
I think it's pro-vax and it's supposed to be like making fun of people that think that vaxing will turn you into like a weird monster. But I like it wasn't like super clear, you know? And so I was like, I don't know where the nuance really is here because I didn't think that it was like, I don't know. It was just so interesting.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah.
And then
but that
like
artist
the
was really good.
Yeah.
It was somebody that I hadn't really heard of, but it's in that first page, like of the whole comic.
Oh yeah.
With
Vlad Legostav.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. But I liked it. And then I know
Brittany
that
Peer on colors.
Future issues of that, it's going to be like, there's like Matt Kint and Jason Aaron has like an issue.
Oh, does it? Yeah.
Jorge
this one's
Fornes.
Been cranking out. They also
it's been coming out for a while.
They also have like Cruel Universe, which is another anthology run from this EC imprint. And that's like the first issue came out like last week or something. And it's cool. like sci-fi anthologies.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm like, and they just like look so fucking cool.
They do look great.
And so I'm like, how do I say no? You know?
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
But yeah, I just saw that like this is kind of fun, and so I thought you'd take a look at it.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate it.
For sure.
Didn't read anything else though.
I read JSA number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting.
Still good.
I think that's where I stopped with that one.
Oh wow!
I like see where it's going. I think it's written really well and the art's amazing, but it's just like I only read it because JSA 3 was coming out, and so I'm just kind of it just fell off.
Get a feel. Yeah,
it is good stuff. I read Absolute Superman number 2. Still good stuff. Still love it. And I read Ultimate X-Men number 2.
Oh, nice.
Only a number 2.
I'm glad you're catching up with that one though.
Yeah, the first issue is like I think a little longer than the rest of them, and so once you kind of just get cooking on that, then they fly by.
Same with all the other issues. Like all of those I read, you know, if I was speeding through, I could read in like 5 minutes. But I like to look at what Peach Momoko is doing, and
it feels so like the writing feels a lot like a manga, like a lot of the friendships and stuff in it, and it's obviously very like Japanese characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like the villain in it is like, what is even going on?
What is it's this? Like a bit of a horror in a way, and I'm like, oh, this is just so cool.
It's so cool for like an ultimate title, you know, like it.
Yeah,
you know. And for such like a big title being like X-Men.
With the X-Men,
yeah.
So you think it'd be like X-Force or something, or like some X team, but not necessarily like the main one, you know? But it seems to be going really well.
Peach Momoko did like some magic, like the Magic the Gathering stuff recently.
Oh, cards?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, that's cool as hell. She has a game mat that she like designed.
Oh, neat.
It's cool.
Did you watch anything, Nathan?
I watched half of Squid Game 2.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm halfway through it. They just did like their second game kind of in there. Spoilers, I guess, for that if you haven't watched it yet.
It is not a game that they did last season.
Yeah. That's what I was worried about. I was like, are we just going to do the same shit? I figured it wasn't going to be because like you got to spice it up a little bit.
Especially with like that same dude coming back.
Mm-hmm. But I think they did really well keeping it pretty fresh.
Yeah. It's still like...
Because it's...
The narrative is like moving on, you know? Yeah. It's not just like a new batch of all new characters. You know?
But like the fact that player 456, you know, he's back but kind of on revenge, but they kind of knew what he was trying to do, I guess, throughout the games. I like the twist where the chip that he had in his tooth was like found and they like put it somewhere else.
He's pulling out a tooth for nothing.
Yeah, I know. that was brutal too. I like that he, you know, spent 3 years or whatever it was trying to track down the same subway dude, and he like enlisted a bunch of people. I thought
you think it'd be way easier to find him when they're like getting like 400 people to be in this game.
Yeah,
you know?
And they're all from like South Korea, I think. So it's like But I also really like the player number 1 in this, and like like what is going on here? What is his intent? Because he is a part of the games, and so
but no one knows that.
Yeah, but no one knows that he's who he is, because he's the Black Mask guy from the first season. Yeah, and like the brother's trying to find him and shit like that. So I think that they did a lot of really cool things to spice it up and, you know, keep the course of the games at least like pretty interesting. Because when you learn more about how player 1 acts throughout it, I'm like, this is so. What's his deal here? And you watch all of it, right?
Yeah, we watched it in like a day.
How do you think? What do you think about it?
I think it's good. I think the third season will come back a lot sooner than like the second season did.
Yeah, I don't think they expected this to be big when the first season came out.
Right, and I'm glad that the creator is like getting his bag. You know, because I don't think he got that much for the first season.
Yeah, I remember that story.
And it ended up being like the biggest thing.
Yeah, and he like worked super hard on it, tried to get it off the ground for like super long as well.
So maybe a decade or something.
Yeah.
And I just am a fucking sucker for like the whole games, like the stairs and shit. Yeah. And just like how everything's set up. And
I still don't know why they have all those stairs, man.
When you go back to just like the red light, green light thing, it's just like, it brings back like how brutal like this thing is, you know,
seeing how like everyone tries to run away and stuff.
And I like the aspect of them adding like the voting, you know, and just like how like insane people are.
Yeah.
I'm like, they were shooting you with guns.
Yeah. And they're like, 20 mil of those, not enough.
Yeah.
I like that. I love and hate the like Thanos character. The rapper dude. I hate when he raps.
Yeah. It like doesn't translate well.
It's like it doesn't translate well, and it's just like not cool to like just in general. I don't care how cool you are.
Like, how'd you sneak drugs in here?
Yeah, he's sneaking drugs in here. He's like, you know, he's like jumping around, but just like anybody that enters any sort of situation and is like, let me freestyle rap real quick. Or like rap one of my verses to show how cool I am. I'm like, get out of here. But then he's kind of funny in it every other time. So I'm like, I like him again.
Yeah.
So I constantly flip between those. And I like that a lot of people in the games are like crypto bros. Yeah. I thought that was a funny addition, but like very of the times as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't think this season's quite as good as the first one, just because the first one's setting up so much.
Yeah.
But
and there's so much mystery there.
And I thought this one was like a little bit easier to get through as far as like the dubs and stuff.
Yeah, they definitely improved on that noticeably.
So. It might have even been like the main character, like 456. It might have been him doing the dubs.
I think
because he like learned English.
He did learn English
for Acolyte,
mm-hmm.
So it might have been him because it didn't sound like very off.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like it.
He's also a good actor.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying that quite a bit.
I wish he would have kept his red hair. It was just the
red hair was interesting.
It was just like a random thing for him to do at the end of the last season.
Like at what point from getting like billions of dollars, billions of one, sorry.
Yeah.
And like trying to hunt down these people, did he get red hair? Like
I like how he just like kept all of his money like on a bed in this like random hotel.
Yeah, what is that? Does he own the whole building? Because he fucked up multiple rooms of that.
Yeah,
thing.
One's like a shooting range.
Yeah, you know? I'm like, Jesus Christ. But yeah.
And then he had the funds to like hire all these people to be on like every train.
Yeah.
You know?
And when they get pissed, he's like, all right, I'll pay you more. And have a bounty.
He's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I like how dedicated he is.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I like the cop like brother dude.
Yeah.
I like his journey throughout all this and like how dedicated he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, good show.
Good show. And then I watched more Kid Your Commandos, so I'm caught up on that. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should catch up.
All right, whatever. Maybe.
I think that was everything I watched. What'd you watch?
I watched a movie called Juror Number 2.
Oh, I've been wanting to check that out.
It's on Max.
Mm-hmm.
It's the latest Clint Eastwood movie with Nicholas Hoult. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As the juror. I know the concept, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Since you might watch that, I'll just leave that as it is. I watched Nosferatu.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yep. I had really high hopes for this. I don't know if it did not like meet those like hopes, I guess. It was like, I think because he's like adapting something that's like really old, and I don't know if he changed like a lot of it to modernize it a little bit, but Nosferatu didn't look the way I thought he would, and I felt like the reveal of him was like kind of wasted. You know, like they could have like waited a little longer to kind of build that up.
Oh, I see.
The people kind of like talk weird. I think that's just kind of like the setting that it's like set in, you know?
Like Victorian era type shit?
Yeah. It definitely has, like the vibes were there in the movie, and it's got like that Robert Eggers like sauce in it. But this isn't like my favorite movie of his.
Right.
I've only seen The Northman, and I think that
Did you see The Lighthouse?
I did not know.
Oh.
So I'll like probably get around to that because that, you know, was nominated for stuff and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, a lot of people are very excited about it because he's a director with a lot of sauce.
Yeah, and I'm glad that like
there's a lot of people.
It seems like everyone likes this.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't that much.
Yeah,
and I hope it makes like a lot of money and he can just do whatever he wants for a long time.
Oh, for sure.
Because this is definitely his like most commercial thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of famous people in this.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I feel like he normally, for his like big ones, like this big, like 4 other movies that people are kind of aware of, he gets like 1 or 2 big names. But this one had like a lot of people. It seemed like
definitely Lily Rose Depp like killed it. Her character like kind of does too much, but she definitely like sells all that, you know. So if people want to see that, definitely go see it. I think I'm really in the minority with it because I was just like, you know.
I'm not a big vampire guy.
Yeah,
it's not even like really that. It seems like though.
Not really. And so I don't know. Maybe if I had watched the old Nosferatu, this would be like a different experience for me. But oh well. Let me watch Kraven the Hunter, Nathan.
The better Aaron Taylor Johnson
movie
that's in theaters. Yeah, we watched Kraven the Hunter.
The cinematic achievement.
What a dog shit movie, dude.
I don't know if it's dog shit.
It is. There's nothing good about this.
There's plenty of good stuff in it.
He runs pretty fast.
Yeah. I wonder if he did like, you know how like in the first Avenger, he had those like, those shoes that were like, made it look like feet.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had those when he was running around.
He's like sliding around.
Yeah.
Like when he's turning like a corner, he like slides and I'm like, ooh, that would hurt.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I just nothing about this really hit for me, I guess.
There's a scene where he's like tripping out and there's like spiders like falling from like coming down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, it's like Kraven's Last Hunt.
And it is like Kraven's Last Hunt. He doesn't eat any of the spiders though, which I thought would have been cool. He just gets scared. He's like, oh my God. Like he like freaks out. Like he hasn't lived in the jungle for however fucking long. You know? And so I'm cool with him not like hunting animals.
Yeah, he's like
he also doesn't seem like much of an ally for animals either. So if you're gonna like,
he just hunts people. Yeah,
he hunts people. But I think it would have worked a little bit better if he is a guy that hunts people that hunt animals, or like,
yeah,
is that who he's hunting? I don't even know. Who is he hunting? Who's the bad guy?
I mean, that's the people on his list, isn't it?
I think so, but it's like. It doesn't seem like he's protecting a lot of animals in the moment, like at all.
Like he gets like the iconic vest thing, but it doesn't have like the lion head. But it does have fur on it. You know, like what kind of fur is that? is that synthetic? Is that faux fur? Yeah.
So he gets eaten by the lion, or he gets attacked by the lion when he's a kid.
Yeah,
and
he should have died.
He doesn't. But I think what would have worked better is if. Because that's like a very notorious lion that has like killed a lot of people, which is why Russell Crowe wants to kill him.
Yeah.
Wants to kill that lion. And it takes a son. I think it would have been cool if that lion revealed to have like a lot of like little lion cub things. And that's why he's like killing people, is like trying to protect his family or whatever.
Okay.
And then it would hit harder when you find out when Kraven like recovers that lion head is like taxidermied. It's like, you just fucking orphaned those little lion cubs. He's like, no, I gotta go protect her, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think stuff like that would have made this a little bit better, because you don't really get the feeling that he's doing this for animals, you know? And
yeah,
so
which
if you're not going to have
like
him hunt animals, at least make it a noble cause that he's like protecting the animals or whatever.
Yeah, it's like they announced that like he was going to be like this activist almost.
Yeah.
But then like hardly executed on that.
Yeah, they didn't do that at all. It feels like it was completely rewritten.
They probably should have just left him as how Kraven normally is, you know?
Like hunting animals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like being fine if you want to. Yeah.
But then that basically set up like Russell Crowe's character, you know?
Yeah. And there's what's her name? There's like a girl who
Calypso?
like, is it Calypso?
Yeah.
Okay, what's Calypso?
Who I think is like a character.
A witch?
In comics?
Her grandma or whatever is a witch and has like this special serum that she's never taken but gave to Kraven. And I'm like,
and also had more of it.
She did have more of it. She lied to his face about not having more of it. And I'm like, have you never drinking that?
Yeah, it's like Russell Crowe is kind of more like Kraven.
Yeah.
And then
both gun.
It's like everyone was like the kids of Spider-Man villains, you know?
Yeah. And Chameleon is in this, which is random and weird, and I don't get it.
It's kind of like it was like a post-credit scene that they just put in the movie then had no post-credit scene.
Yeah. It feels like this movie ended and then it had like 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
Like after.
And people definitely felt that. You know?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, Jesus
Ben
Christ.
was like, oh my God. It was like 1 year later. It's like, no. Then after that, there's another scene.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I could change my fucking face. Who's the doctor in New York that they're talking about? Because they keep saying like, oh, a doctor in New York gave me chameleon powers.
I thought it was like Dr. Connors.
Like the lizard?
Yeah.
Oh, that might be who it is. It seemed like they were very...
It's someone else. Like, actually. But that made sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too. It seemed like we were supposed to kind of know who that is. Like, not the general audience, but like little fucking nerds like us are supposed to know who he's talking to.
Yeah, but we didn't know.
I didn't know. I'm like, who's he talking about? Who's the doctor?
I think
because they mentioned him like a couple times.
The concept of the chameleon is really cool. And I like the look. Because it looks very comic-y.
Yeah, when he looks like Morph. Almost.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I like that.
When he like shows off his power for the first time,
it's so funny.
He like turns around, he's got Kraven's face.
He's just like smaller.
I'm like, can he not get taller?
You wouldn't be a very convincing chameleon.
He's just a chameleon that can look like people, but not like their height. It's just their face. If I walked into your house and I'm like 6 inches shorter than what I normally am and like scrawnier, you're gonna be like, what the fuck happened to you? Like, you wouldn't buy the fact that it was like me fully without questioning anything. Yeah.
So like when he turns around, he's just littler Aaron Taylor Johnson looking up at him. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And like, did he just have perfect mimicking ADR voice powers like before he was tweaked at all?
I guess so.
Because he's a great impressionist.
Yeah. Because when he's singing some songs, that's when he's like the adult version of him is introduced. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, is that the guy who sings the song? But I'm like, oh no, that's Harry Styles. That's not Harry Styles who's like in this. You know?
Was that actually Harry Styles'
That
voice?
first one was like yeah.
Oh.
And like what a weird thing to license. Yeah.
Harry Styles. There's 2 other villains in this, other than Chameleon's not even really a villain, but Rhino is it kind of in this.
Rhino is awesome.
He's kind of cool. I don't know.
I was okay with it.
He's just weird. Do you remember? There's a scene that sticks out in my head where Rhino's men get killed or something, and someone tells that to Rhino, and he like slams his hands on the desk, and he's like, ah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like he freaks out, but he doesn't yell. He's just like,
I mean, that seems how like I would like handle like dying in a game or something.
That's
like,
exactly that's gamer rage. He's like, like he's crashing out, but not very loudly. You know?
Yeah, that was weird.
I was like, what the fuck?
There were a lot of scenes in this where the audience was like laughing, you know, because it's just like so bizarre.
Which that's fine.
Like the insane leaps and shit leaps and bounds that Kraven does. You know?
I wish there was more of that though, because then at least it's a fun bad movie to watch. But the rest of this was like, okay,
it wasn't like bad enough to where it was funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a bad movie that I didn't like. Whereas Madam Web and Venom are bad movies.
I think this was like the most competent like Sony movie. Like it was like close enough to
being a real movie,
like a decent movie. You know?
Why is it rated R?
Is it rated R?
It's rated R. Did you know that?
Are there some F-bombs?
There's a lot of blood, but it's like not even anything interesting.
Yeah.
It feels like.
I mean, I'd rather them have it be rated R and then not like tiptoe around the violence, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
But he's got like ambiguous like
animal
powers. Like he can like zoom in on the site.
He's got like 100x zoom in.
Yeah. But it's like one spot that he can zoom in on, you know?
Like a lion doesn't do that. The only like animal powers you should have are like lion powers.
I think that's like a bird can do that or something.
Yeah, birds can do that, but all he has is lion's blood in him and then some ambiguous serum that the witch person gave him.
Which was only really for healing.
Yeah.
Because he jumps out of buildings and shit.
Yeah.
And is fine.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
A lion can't do that. Or he's like running on the walls sometimes. And yeah, and he could smell very well, which maybe a lion can do, but it's crazy. It's not very like cohesive, it feels like. Like if you have animal powers, that's fine. But like I don't know why. I don't know why you do. Unless it's supposed to be like, oh, the serum give you animal powers. Say that, you know? It's weird.
Yeah.
So Rhino's in this and
But like Kraven, the hunter, I feel like doesn't have powers necessarily.
No, he's just a crazy man with a spear.
Right.
Which give him a spear. Do you know how cool this movie would be if he had a spear?
So cool.
Yeah. But he doesn't. And he has a tooth. That's all. That's like
in abs.
He's got the tooth and
he's got the singular tooth.
Rock hard abs. Yeah. But he uses that to kill people sometimes.
Right.
And I'm like, I think I would have preferred a spear.
There's also a villain called the Foreigner. And I guess
maybe that's a villain in your mind, but I don't think Foreigner's a villain.
No, like I Googled it and it's called the Foreigner.
I was trying to figure out who that was.
They call him the Foreigner.
That's so funny.
And I'm like, I'm not sure what his power is. He can like kind of stop time in a way.
He can like freeze people in like mentally.
Yeah.
So he could like walk around you and shoot you in the
back
back of the head.
I feel like that actor's like good. I feel like he's in good things.
Who's that actor? I don't know.
I just saw him and he's going to be like the Wolfman, I think.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. And I've seen him in other things.
How did he die again? In the movie?
Did he die? I thought he got away.
Speaking of things that died. The rhino has a Doberman. No, not a Doberman.
Oh, dogs? Oh,
a dog.
Like a Rottweiler?
Rottweiler, thank you. That dog definitely died in this movie. No. You don't see it happen, but he's in the truck when they're racing. Or not racing. They're driving.
He got out.
No, the truck does like full flips and like is definitely like no one's surviving that. And the dog was in there at the time. Oh. So we can confidently say that this is a bad movie because that dog is not surviving.
Okay, all right. That loses some points.
Yeah. So I forgot about that. The rhino design looks cool, I think. Except his pants don't get ripped or anything. So he's
he's very
heavy. Upper body kind of rhino with regular man legs.
Yeah, he gets like hard skin and it's like a skin condition thing. He's got a backpack that prevents it
Yeah,
until he takes the backpack off.
He gets juices.
And then a horn grows
Yeah.
on his face.
Why does that happen?
Yeah.
Does that happen consistently every time, or does it look different every time?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I like how it's kind of like a painful process for him. Like he doesn't want to be the Rhino,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
I thought this was like a better execution of that than, Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it's just like a big robo guy.
I was thinking about that. I don't care which way it's done. I don't think
so either.
I think if he's in a big mech suit, then that's fine.
People were like upset with this, but like I don't know if like the true comics form where he's like in a suit thing that like has his face popping out would be better necessarily.
I think if he's
that would look goofier.
I think if he's like a big juggernaut dude, then it'd be fine. Like if he gets physically bigger.
Rhino
but then
almost
he just
seems
has
like
powers that are like
Rhino doesn't seem like a guy who like hulks out like that. He
Yeah,
seems like he's like
exactly.
always big kind of thing.
I think if he just remained big, it's fine. But then he'd be weird in this movie. So
Yeah, it'd be
I don't
kind of
know.
camp, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. But yeah, I think he looks fine. Like I don't care that he's like how he looks, because if they're going with this version of it, then don't think about it too hard, kind of deal.
This was like a terrible like theater experience.
Oh my god, it was so funny how
there
bad
were so
this
many
was.
people like yelling and stuff. I think it was just drunk people like in the movie.
There are people talking.
There's a dude that sat next to me who like didn't buy a ticket to this movie.
He's snuck into
He's
this
like,
movie.
is anyone sitting here? I'm like, no. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then half the time he was like on his phone, and then like
He was on his phone right next to you?
Yeah. And then like the screen was like in my face.
Oh my god.
But I was going to be like, hey, you should turn off your phone. This is a movie.
I'm trying to watch Kraven.
I'm trying to watch this film right now. Like, you're ruining my experience.
Dude, I saw someone on their phone like in the second row.
Oh yeah, up front.
So I didn't know there was a guy right next to you. That's so funny. There's two people on their phone like trying to watch something better.
You're ruining my experience right now.
Like someone had it full brightness in the second row. If you're gonna be on your phone, go to the back.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
fine.
It
was bizarre.
I just, because I didn't care much about this movie, I could tell by the time they were on their phone.
They went on like super early, and I'm like, I think I can hit him with a Skittle if I like really chucked it at him. I think I could get it.
It was crazy. Like I was kind of looking at their phone, and I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah,
I think they were watching like YouTube or something. And I'm like, you should not be in a movie if we're gonna go watch
like
YouTube anyway.
Subway Surfer, like
that would be awesome if I could see Subway Surfer or like Family Guy clips. Just yeah, it's crazy, man. There's also a lot of people talking, which whatever. It's supposed to be like a stupid movie. Yeah. So if this was anything other than Kraven the Hunter, I think I would have been actually annoyed. But I was like, whatever. Aaron Taylor Johnson walks around like he's like a cool guy, and I think that's kind of funny.
He looks like a cool guy.
He is a cool guy. Like
he's fucking ripped.
Generally, he's ripped, and he is a cool guy. But do you remember when we first see him and he's like peeing out in the snow? And he like turns around like this. They're like, prisoner, and he's like, he looks like this, ready? He's like, he turns around like that, and then he walks like all cool. I'm like, wow, this is corny.
I didn't know he was peeing. I thought he was just kind of looking out into the snow as if he was trying to like escape. Well,
that's when he swapped with the dude that was supposed to actually be there, because he puts him in the snow or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like when we first see him and he's supposed to be peeing because they let everybody go pee on the building. I don't know why I remember this so vividly. But
yeah, watch at your own discretion.
It's not good. It's not worth it. I will never see this movie again.
No. But watch it with friends if you do.
Yeah, if you do, at least watch it with friends. So I feel so bad because Ben doesn't see every bad movie with us. And he was kind of excited to see this because he was like, I know nothing about this. It's going to be crazy. And then
you think going in blind is a better experience?
Yeah. He just like had never heard about it. He didn't know what it was. And I was like, it might be good. I don't know.
That's how you know it's a good one to go see.
Yeah. And then he hated it, I think. Like, hated it in the way it's like it wasn't even fun ironically, and I feel like he'll never see a shitty movie with us ever again. So unless he knows a little bit about it.
Dude, Aaliyah texted me, she's like, what movie are you seeing? I'm like, Kraven the Hunter. She's like, is it good? I'm like, not at all.
No, not actually. Maybe my least favorite movie I've seen this year.
I'm like, but I knew that going in.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. But yeah, good time. Did you watch anything else?
No.
All right.
What are we gonna read next week? What are you gonna read next week, Nathan?
I don't know. What do we got? Is there anything coming out? Are we doing
Nathan, the Wolfman comes out.
The Wolfman?
Yeah.
So what does that mean for
Astonishing us? Wolfman by Robert Kirkman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. The Wolfman comes out next week?
Yeah.
As of, recording?
January 17th.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So this will come out on the 10th. So yeah.
Astonishing. Is that set in any of the universes, or is that just like his own thing?
I think that's supposed to be the Universal Monsters edition, but the fact that it's coming out in January is concerning to me.
Yeah.
But then again, the Wolfman might be like public domain. But
sorry, I'm talking about the Kirkman book. Is that
that?
Is that
I think that's Invincible universe.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down. You down? Hell yeah.
I mean, is there any other wolf things other than like the Captain America wolf?
It's Cap Wolf,
Cap
of course.
Wolf.
I mean, there is a werewolf in the Creature Commandos thing.
Yeah. No, let's do this Kirkman one.
Okay.
This is good. Did you just look up Wolfman comics?
This is like one that I've brought up before, and you're like, absolutely not.
Okay. This is literally the only week that this will work.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do it. Wolfman.
And I read the first trade when I was on like a Kirkman kick.
Oh.
It's not bad, dude. It's pretty good.
Really?
There's good stuff in here.
Wow. Okay.
There's like a omnibus of
Wolfman?
Of Wolfman, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
I still don't think it'll be that good, but I'll check it out with an open mind.
Open-minded. Yeah.
Open-minded, yeah.
Alrighty. Right. I think hold on, let me check out who's the artist on that.
Artist?
Oh, what? Astounding Wolfman. That's what the trade's called.
Oh, Astounding.
The complete collection. Is this Jason Howard?
It is Jason Howard.
Whoa.
Cool. Early Jason Howard.
Yeah, dude. This run had 25 issues.
Cool.
The complete collection also has Invincible 57. So there must have been an
a
issue with
crossover.
Yeah.
Jason Howard did all of those issues?
I guess so.
Dude, what a legend.
Or at least the ones that we're going to read.
Cool. All right, yeah, let's do it.
Sounds good.
He wears a vest. We like that.
Hell yeah, we love a vest.
All right. We'll tune in
say
for that.
astonishing? Astounding.
Yeah, Astounding is the Astounding Wolfman.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Big 250.
Big 250. We did it. A quarter thou.
We did it. We're a quarter of the way through the show.
Ooh, dude. That's on Comicsology Unlimited.
Let's go.
No complaining.
We love that.
Yeah. All right. Linktree in the bio. Like, comment, subscribe, stuff like that.
What's your favorite Frank Miller thing? Is it this? Why? You're wrong, I think.
Yeah. Is this the best Batman? Should it be in the Time Magazine top 10 graphic novels of all time?
What's your Time Magazine top 10?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Batman design? Tell us at tradewaiterspod@gmail.com.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.